What is up, Defects? We are back for another video today, and we got a special guest down below. As you can see, Black Crown is in the house. What up, buddy?
Not much, man. Getting ready to crack this top 10 list with you guys. I'm pumped. Let's do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. What up, Butch?
What's up, guys? Excited to see what top 10 books hit in 2023. A lot of these books I had no idea would be on the list, but they are here, and I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, so like these guys alluded to, 2023 just flew by, right? And there's so much to recap. But today, as these guys mentioned, we're just going to be focusing on the hottest selling new comic books for the year. So today we're bringing you those top 10. All right. And that's going to be based on real sales data from the boys over at Comic Nation. You guys know the deal if you've been watching our channel. All the slides that you're going to see, all the insight that we're going to read is going to be from those guys. So they worked really hard on this list. So make sure you're giving them a shout out and a follow if you like this information. All their links are going to be down in the description below, along with Black Crown's information. Also, he's going to be doing part 2 of this video. It's dropping at the same time as this video that you're watching. The link to that video for the second half of this is going to be in the description below as well. So make sure after you watch us, you go and watch him and you give him a subscribe, all right? We're going to have some extra savings. We have the regular discount codes today, but we also got some extra savings that's going to happen later on, all right? We'll drop that info. So, guys, what do you think? Without further ado, get into the list.
Without further ado,
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so the first book on the list is an honorable mention, and it is none other than Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Number 1, this is the cover A. Caught everybody by surprise, but it released October 18, 2023. Now, Comic Nation says that they caught wind of this book, which is about a serial killing bear who is concerned when someone kills the mayor in his town because he thinks it will bring heat to his crimes. Now, although Comic Nation had a couple of orders for this book at FOC, things took off when we saw the reviews leading up to New Comic Book Day. They decided to offer this one up in their sales channel and witnessed many claims from their customers. That's right. The boys have a Telegram chat that everybody should be checking out, and definitely join in because you get first dibs. But we'll talk about that later. As a result, they kept having to order more and more until it was sold out at distribution. This is where things got interesting. As soon as it sold out at distribution, we began seeing a surge in its fair market value. So we love situations like this because we are able to get a book out to so many people for the cover price that ended up surging on the aftermarket. Since release, the book has seen sales nearing $100 and has since settled to 70 to 80. Now, guys, before even coming here to record this, I was interested, right? I want to check eBay. CGC&CBCS Canadian are hitting $206. That is insane for a book with, I mean, there's nothing tied to it yet, right? This is all speculation. People just dig this book. But Comic Nations continue to see this selling whenever they post a copy anywhere near the market price. As for the story itself, people are raving about it. The second printing sold out at distribution well before its New Comic Book Day release, and the same can be said about the second issue. Both are selling for over triple the cover price. This is truly a book no one saw coming that sold very well, which to us makes it the very definition of an honorable mention, and rightfully so.
Let me tell you, we did this book last month, I want to say, the second print, and so many people in our comments were like, you guys have to read this. It was so good. So not a shock to see a late entry from the year cracking this list, you know, even if it is an honorable mention. And those prices are crazy, PC.
Yeah, dude. And it is a perfect combination, man. It's got that like suspense horror thing going on with the, you know, it's got that child's playbook thing, right? You know, those bedtime stories, and it kind of finds that sweet spot, kind of like Stray Dogs did.
All right, Jay, should we break into the top 10 now?
All right, guys, coming in at number 10, Superman number 2, cover E, the Nathan Zerdy variant from DC Comics, released March 21st of 2023. As soon as the cover art for this book was revealed, weeks before FOC, we began to see the pre-orders. Nathan Zerdy had a lot of loyal fans, and when you pair this work with the introduction of a new character, it's only natural collectors will gravitate to it. This issue marks the first appearance of Marilyn Moon Knight, a character with origins connected deep into the past of Metropolis. Her origin will be the basis of an upcoming issue of Superman. We see the same potential in this character as our readers do, and although she was featured on a number of variants for this issue, this variant outsold them by a landslide. Not only did this have heavy pre-sales at FOC and the sales on New Comic Book Day, but it has continued to do very well ever since being dropped. In our opinion, Marilyn Moonlight is worth keeping an eye out for. We think she would work very well in a live action or DC animated feature. In a year that saw Superman comics surge in sales, this issue is a standout and even outsold our top selling Batman books, guys. I mean, whew, a lot to unpack there, right? Especially for a Superman title. And it's always good to see Superman titles starting to sell again and, outsell Batman. That is insane.
Yeah, dude, it's no doubt she's an interesting character, but Zerdy killed this cover, man. He's been putting out bangers, but this one's probably one of my favorites from last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2023 Zerdy had a year and a half, huh?
Yeah,
He had some real good covers. So, all right, coming in at number 9, guys. Another first appearance we'll talk about. So it's Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 5, the main cover, Marvel Comics, and this released on February 22nd, 2023. Let's hear what the boys over at Comic Nation have to say. So, like Beneath the Trees, this is another book that no one saw coming at FOC. Seems to be a kind of a theme, right? So far, boys?
Yep.
Pre-orders were light, but as soon as we got our hands on a copy and we saw that it featured the first appearance of Dream Spider, it was off to the races. We offered these up on our sales channel and they started selling like crazy. As a result, we were able to get stacks of copies out to our customers for cover price right before it started to surge in value. We don't think that even Marvel Comics saw this coming because it only had one single cover, no variants. So that's unusual. After all, this was the last issue of the miniseries. Even the paper was particularly horrible quality. Even though this book sold out in a hurry, there was no second printing. This surprised us because we think a second printing with the actual character on the cover would have done very well. It's worth noting that this book was written by B. Earl and Taboo, the same writers and creators of the new Werewolf by Night series. We love their work, and may know that Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas, their work is worth keeping an eye on. As for this book, it continues to maintain strong aftermarket value, and we think it's safe to say that we have not seen the last of this character. She was featured in her first solo story and cover appearance in a recent installment in Edge of Spider-Verse. With the no doubt low print run and no second printing, this sneaky first appearance of a new Spider-related character should maintain its value going forward. So, guys, Crystal Katawani, I think is how you say it, first appears in person, as the person of number 1 of this series, Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Jay and I always talk about this on this channel. First appearance as, in human form, first appearance as the character, right? Yep. Most of the time, the character, the superhero personification is going to outsell. But I think it's always good to have both if you believe in a character. The Edge of Spider-Verse issue that Comic Nation was talking about, that she got her solo story and cover, that was Edge of Spider-Verse number 4 from this year. And it's a really dope Patrick Brown cover. I do kind of like this character long term just because it is a spider character. It's a female character. Just as a long-term stash and hold. Don't go crazy on this. But I think if you can get this for cover, this seems like a no-brainer, guys.
Yeah, what I love about this book is only one issue of it, right? No second print, no variants. So this is the only one, guys, right? This is the book. And with print count being so low, this is a keeper in my eyes.
Number 8, BC.
Oh, baby, man. Look at this beautiful cover. We got Supergirl Special number 1. This right here is the Will Jack foil variant. It was released October 31st, 2023. We got the opposite of a scary cover here, but fresh off the heels of Will Jack dropping a series of retail exclusive variants featuring Power Girl that exploded on the aftermarket, DC Comics decided to get into the action and publish one themselves. As soon as the cover art was revealed, we began getting messages from our customers asking when and where they could pre-order a copy. We had no choice but to create a listing super early on our website and sales channels. Sales started immediately, although This foil variant had a high cover price. Fans who were used to paying $40 or $50 for Wheeljack variants had no issue paying for this one. For those who don't particularly like foil variants, DC Comics also offered a non-foil cardstock version that also sold very well. As we will see with multiple examples on the list, cover art is a super important factor in the new comic book landscape. This variant looks incredible in print. Pictures do not do it justice. This is an incredible Supergirl depiction. In our opinion, DC Comics put out the very best covers, so seeing a variant like this on our list is no surprise. And I agree, man. I think DC absolutely had a killer year when it comes to covers. Dude, they blow Marvel out of the water. Even their paper quality, everything. I just appreciated DC in 2023.
Yeah, and to touch on that, Will Jack has been absolutely killing it. His remarks gotta be some of the best in the game. I've seen the work this guy does. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Take it away, Jay. It's a big one.
All right, boys and girls, there's a lot to unpack on this one, guys. A good story behind this book, so bear with me as I read the notes from the boys over at Comic Nation. We have at number 7, Incredible Hulk, number 181, the foil facsimile variant from Marvel Comics, released July 12th of 2023. Is it the cameo? Is it the first full appearance? I'll let you as collectors decide that, right? I'm not going to give my opinion on this one. But so much to unpack with this variant. This is an odyssey. First, let's start with the fact that there are often people who get frustrated when they buy a Mexican foil variant like those Lamoli variants or exclusive. Then when it hits direct market and this comes out, we do not recommend buying these types of exclusive. Choose one with original artwork instead. These publishers will continue to print these classic books whenever they want and however they want. They are the license holders and they use their intellectual property to generate revenue. They simply do not care at all if the artwork was only on any other variant before. After all, just because someone publishes an exclusive, it does not mean they own the artwork. Keep in mind that whenever you decide to buy one of these and other exclusives, it may sound harsh, but if you pay $40 to $50 for an exclusive variant like that, and then the facsimile like this comes out and tanks the value of your comic books, you have no one to blame but yourself. As for this book in particular, there was a huge amount of confusion surrounding it. This was the first Marvel Direct foil variant in a very long time. When Marvel announced they would be offering a foil variants again, they told retailers that they would not be getting their full discount. The discount on foil variants from Marvel is so small, it's marginal at best. As a result, comic shops were selling this book well over the $3.99 cover price, but we went to the ordering portal. We saw the discount code was added to our order. We were confused and did not know what to charge ourselves at FOC, so we posted ours just slightly over cover price just to make sure we did not lose money on our orders. Our FOC orders went through with full discount. We were pretty sure this was a mistake, so we took a screenshot of our cart to ensure the full discount would be properly honored. Leading up to New Comic Book Day, we saw this book continue to have full discount applied, so we felt more comfortable selling these for $3.99 and started offering them up to our customers. $3.99 for a Hulk 181 foil. We don't care how you feel about foils, that's a great value to us. When the books were finally delivered, we were pretty surprised that many retailers continued to price this book as if there were no discount. That's when we sprang into action. There were many copies left at distribution, and we placed a ton of orders and offered them up for cover price. Finally, the book sold out. Once again, we were happy to scramble for copies and get them into the hands of our customers. But this story is not over yet. About a month after release, we got an email saying this facsimile is off to print again. That's right, a second printing that was not even treated as a second printing. They said these new copies, which are exactly the same as the first printing, would be used to fill pending back orders. We had pending back orders, and when they were processed, we were charged full price this time, no discount at all. We messaged our distributor and said that they would not honor the discount that was shown in our cart. when we reordered. We would like to order canceled. They decided to fill the order and honor the full discount after that threat. There is so much to learn with the events surrounding this foil facsimile. Be mindful when you're buying a foil facsimile cover. Be aware that Marvel charges retailers near full cover price on all of these foils. And when you could get a Hulk 181 foil for $4, it's probably a good idea to grab it. So BC, I know you know a bunch more. You're tight with the guys at Common Nation. Let me know what's going on here, man. Like, what are they doing?
So it's exactly as they said, right? At FOC, people were getting these orders in, but we were seeing shops upcharging them, right? Because yes, retailers do get, the full bill almost when it comes to having to order these foils for us. But in this case, Comic Nation was one of the many shops that continued to offer it at their, the regular $3.99 price, because it was being honored. There was the actual discount on this foil. After that, we saw no discounts on these foils, right? So all future foils that followed that, the retailers weren't getting their discounts. So they, there's a reason why we're paying a little more for these foils. Now, one thing I did see very often is that, most of these retailers were advised that the discount was going to apply. I saw some, emails that were sent out by Diamond themselves where it said, yo, guys, the discount's going to apply for this one, but all future ones, it will not, right? So Diamond honored that and so forth. And what ended up happening was shops were selling this at, a $3.99 book at like $10 US, which was absolute madness. So, I definitely put some people on blast. I let some shops know, like, dude, I know, don't do this, right? This is wrong. But yeah, man. So that's really what took place here.
I mean, it's a cool cover. I don't know. Don't buy this if you think it's as an investment. Buy it because you just like the cover.
Yeah.
You probably won't get your money back out of it because like the guys are saying at Comic Nation, they can reprint these at any time. So there could be, 500,000 copies of these in the next 5 years and they could keep calling them first prints apparently, because they did a second printing and they still called it first print. So if you're getting this close to cover, get it because you like it. Don't get it because you think you're going to make some money on it, because that's probably not going to be the case.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Matt and BC, you think Marvel started printing these foil variants after the success they seen with the Lamoli variants? I know pretty much the first one to, really hit it big was that Null cover, and then people went crazy for that. And then I guess Marvel caught wind of that and was like, hey, why aren't we doing these?
100%.
I think foils is a complete gimmick, to be honest with you. But one thing that was mentioned, Jay, that you just finished saying is that some of these exclusives, people are paying $40 to $50, right? And that's a heavy coin here when you see these later on being reprinted, right? We recently had the Joker Harley Quinn cover. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was a con exclusive, and then it was available on FOC where you could have got it for cover price. So that hurts. That hurts, man.
All right, guys, you know what time it is. Discount code time. So the sponsors and curator of the data of the show are the guys who are at Comic Nation, as we said earlier, the world's finest comic shop, all right? So Defects 10 gets you 10% off your first order. Defects gets you 5% off all other orders, right? 15% off all FOC pre-orders. They have 5% cash back. So you add that all together, you're getting somewhere between 25 and 30% back if you pre-order your books, all right? Guys, head over to comicnation.us or check them out on Instagram. Start your pull list today. All their links are going to be in the description below. But wait, there's more. New discount. All right. So first one up is the free comic book day. So free comic book day, FCBD 2024. You're going to get 5 free comic book days as pre-orders, which they usually don't do. They usually have to walk in. So here's what they say. These books aren't released until May, but they want to give people a chance to make sure that their favorites are secured from now. This week is FOC for all these books. We're giving people a full week to take advantage of this deal. The offer ends on January 15th. If anybody wants extras or more than 5, each will be 99 cents more and will all come to bag and boarded. So this is something new, right? So you could pre-order with the discount for free.
Yeah,
a lot of these free comic book days, we see that they don't sell for free, right? Yeah. And they come in bag and boarded, which is, again, usually not something that happens. Also, discount code. Guys, everything you're going to see on this list in part 1 and part 2. The discount code TOP10 is going to get you 20% off of all these books. Whatever they still have in stock or at distribution, they will give to you at 20% off with the discount code TOP10. All right. So if there's something on this list that you want to see, do it fast, because some of these books you're not going to, even if they are still there, they're not going to be there for long. All right.
Yeah. Dream Spider.
Yeah.
There you go.
Last book on part 1 of this video is number 6, Star Wars number 35, the main cover. So Marvel released this on June 7th, 2023. Here's what they have to say from Comic Nation. So Star Wars number 34 was a book that surprised everyone. It featured the first full appearance of a new character called Greta and the first cameo appearance of Dr. Kuata. When people get blindsided by a first appearance, there with no mention of FOC in the solicitation for the book or on the cover, it's always a good sign. When people know it's a first appearance is coming, the print run and thus the supply goes up. But when they don't, the print run is usually suppressed. That's why we strongly recommend that people join our Telegram group that we have direct contact with for support in case there's ever an issue like this. So this is what Black Crown was talking about earlier. Comic Nation, they have a Telegram group. They try to keep everyone that's involved in that group abreast of these situations so that you're even more ahead of the curve. Okay.
Yep.
So getting back to this book. So it was no surprise that Star Wars number 34 started to trend on the aftermarket. FOC for this issue was the very same week. Because 34 did so well and the 1 in 25 for this issue had Dr. Kuata on it, we knew it would sell a ton, and they're talking about number 35 now. Everyone knew at FOC that number 35 would be the first full appearance of Dr. Kuata because of how number 34 ended. The difference, and so important, that's the difference and why it's so important in understanding aftermarket supply and demand. We figured number 35 would be overprinted, that only the 1 in 25 would see any aftermarket success or demand. When this book dropped, we had another surprise first appearance, this time a new Sith character. This sparked demand for the main cover as well. Although it sold a ton, there are so many copies of this out there that it will take a lot to move the needle on this one. Right now, they're staying strong at $5, and under the circumstances, that's impressive. Not only did we sell all the copies we had ordered at FOC, but we had to go back and restock multiple times. We think this particular book has a future, as the Sith character who has yet to be named is currently being featured in a new storyline. If you can find a copy for around the cover price and you don't have one yet, we think it's worth grabbing. So, as we always say, we don't, on this channel, we don't really follow Star Wars. We don't read them. It's such a huge, it's an undertaking, right? You gotta read all the tie-ins. There's a lot to it, but. Again, we always say it on this. Whenever there's a Sith first appearance, we know people buy into it and people hang on to it. So it sounds like even with a high print run here, it wasn't as high as it could have been because there was that surprise first appearance. So this is an interesting take. And I think the insight that Comic Nation has kind of sums it all up. So I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
Yeah, man, I agree. And especially with what they said, right? I only caught wind of this because I myself as well don't fully keep up to date with everything that's happening with Star Wars. But shout out to, Comic Nation, the Telegram chat, where, they were putting this info out even before we got to see any of the Leftero slides recommending such, right? All the information was being shared there. And immediately once it was shared, I was like, "Oh, okay, let me pick up 34. Let me read this and see what it's about." And the character is pretty interesting. So luckily enough, I did get to pick up a few copies of this one. And I agree also with the second printing, man. Don't go wild. Don't go wild on that one. If you find the first print, definitely pick it up.
All right, so that's going to wrap up part 1 of this video. If you want to see the cover buy for the year and then 5 through 1, you're going to go to the link in the description below for part 2 of this video over on Black Crown's channel. All 3 of us will be over there with all the rest of this information. All right, so before we get out of here, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you are subscribed, hit that notification bell. Keep an eye out. We just made the big announcement that we are now selling on eBay and will be eBay live sellers. There's a lot to unpack about that. If you want to have all the details, go watch our last live show. But the links for all that will be down below. And our first live show on eBay will be coming up shortly. So stay tuned for that information. Make sure you're subbing up Black Crown. Go watch that second part of the video. And we'll catch you later, Defects.